former Minister of Environment, Energy, and Climate Change of the Hellenic Republic, Professor Magnatis. Welcome. Professor Magnatis, you personally managed some of the early initiatives that paved the way for the great cooperation in our region between Greece, Israel, Cyprus, etc. Actually, fun fact, I remember in 2014, I was in one of the first meetings, the briefings you gave in New York and in DC, when you started shaping what later became the vision for the trilaters, the EastMed pipeline, which we can discuss a bit more because I know this is one of the most trending topics recently with the developments. So can you give us from your perspective a little bit on what are some of the more important developments that helped us get here, and also any insights vis-a-vis the new geopolitical challenges that we're facing?
Well, thank you very much, Nicola, for the introduction. Thanks for the invitation. Let me start with a comment. You know, maybe the energy strategy is the only political issue and economic issue in the Greek political atmosphere, which is stable during the last 10 years. We started in 2011 with the first approaches on a new Greek strategy based on regional cooperation with the neighboring countries, second, green transition, and third, with going towards improving the infrastructure, the Greek infrastructure on natural gas. So today we are lucky because all the next governments, including the present one, follow the same strategy, and being so stable, we are lucky as a country to see all these projects to be implemented now. And it is a very useful knowledge and experience for the Greek society to see that some things do not change because this is the profit of the interest of the nation. So let me just say that we are discussing all these days about TAP pipeline, EastMed, IGB, FSRUs in Alexandroupolis, all this, the Revithoussa upgrade by 70%. All these issues were planned in 2011, were included in the European projects of common interest, which means finding funding for these projects in 2013. And now, some years later on, we are lucky and happy to see that all these projects can help Greece to play a new role in the changing energy environment. This was the first, my first comment. The second comment is that, especially in relation to our cooperation, strategic cooperation with Israel, Cyprus, plus United States of America, the well-known 3+1 initiative, I think that we should start thinking of the next step. Not just 3+1, but 4, which means equal participation of the United States, like Greece, Cyprus, and Israel, in a Quad which will be open for other participants who can follow the international law, the law of the sea, etc. Because I think that although in European Union, in Brussels, it has not yet been understandable that East Mediterranean is the only alternative solution for bringing some new things in energy independence from the Russian natural gas. So my second comment is, let's see the future of 3+1 in a more constructive and in a closer cooperation between the three countries and United States. About diversification, we have already discussed. I suppose we will discuss in more details on EastMed. Another comment is that since the American LNG, the USA LNG providers to Europe and to Greece, where they participate by about 50%, we should see, going now to the next era after the Russian invasion in Ukraine, we should see how we can formulate, let's say, long-term contracts in order for the providers and for the consumers to have a more stable environment, not dependent so much on the changing prices of the product. And my last comment has to do about electricity. I strongly believe that starting from Eurasia interconnector, the first cable connecting Asia, Europe, and continuing with the recent Egypt, Greece, the Euro-Africa interconnector, we have started as Greece to become a very interesting electricity hub, bringing electricity from renewables from Israel and Egypt, being a hub, but there is an open issue, which is first, upgrading the Greek transmission network in order to be able to transmit so much more electricity. And second, to see how this more electricity will be transmitted to Central Europe, which means that we should start thinking of a new, let's say, electricity highway from Greece towards passing through Bulgaria, Romania, etc., and arriving to the Central European countries. These are projects go to the next decade. I understand, I fully understand, but we should start thinking of these projects because the future of East Mediterranean, if we will be a little bit wise on the next years, the future of East Mediterranean can become safer, more will bring more energy, will bring more peace, and maybe we could see a better future about bilateral or trilateral relations among all the countries of the region.
Great, thank you. Actually, one of the things that you could elaborate and we can make our way backwards here is about the development now of Ukraine, how it's impacting the EastMed pipeline. Since we saw the reaction to it recently, now we have Ukrainian crisis going on. Do you see, Professor Maniatis, anything changing that calculation, the crisis of Ukraine, bringing more, life back into the project?
Well, to be honest, I have to say that I was very much disappointed by the well-known non-paper from State Department. I did not understand the scope, the target, the time, everything. In any case, I heard also yesterday night Mr. Menendez. So let's see where we are now. We have no other, Europe has no other alternatives than East Mediterranean. Maybe Norway a little bit, or Caspian Sea, something else. But the available deposits in Israel, Cyprus, Egypt, and the anticipated in Greece may formulate the new source, bringing a new route. So EastMed since 2019, let me say it publicly, since 2019, according to all its studies, is a viable program from a technical and economic point of view. There are available studies. I have not seen any other study that says that the project is not viable. Not analysis. I want to see a study.
So this is the main feasibility assessment that it's viable.
Yes, not only the feasibility, but also all the next studies. In any case, if it was the case before the invasion in Ukraine, now After the invasion in Ukraine, we have many more times to see the usefulness of EastMed for Europe. The CEO of Chevron 1 week ago declared that we should talk about EastMed. The CEO of Edison, who is the by 50% owner of the pipeline, said the same. Yesterday night, the German Minister of Economy said that we should start again discussing, etc. And all these things, besides, of course, the funding by the European Union and the political support of the project by the 3 governments that have signed the intergovernmental agreement, and the common letter of other 8 ministers of energy that have asked by the European Union to support a bigger support of the project. So this is what happens now. I am optimistic enough that we will see something better for the near future, because I think that deposits in East Mediterranean plus the LNG coming from the United States will give a very good new approach to the European independence by the Russian natural gas.
Thank you.